Canadians spend more than $100 billion at grocery stores every year. And while a lot of the focus in the media is on how artificial intelligence is helping retailers market and retain customers, some of the most interesting and unheralded uses of AI are where the food is being made and where it ends up. I'm Amber Mack.
And I'm Jody Wallace.
This is The AI Effect, the podcast that takes you inside how artificial intelligence is changing the way we work and live here in Canada and around the world. And today we're taking algorithms and machine learning from farm to table.
As artificial intelligence moves from the lab to the street, it's being adopted in all sorts of ways that we didn't initially predict. Mostly because people who are deep industry domain experts are finding ways for AI to solve problems that only they knew existed. We know from experience that some of the most effective applications of new technologies are those that not only help people do what they're already doing better and faster, but that change business models and fundamentally change industries. I just wonder where we find these people.
Yeah, absolutely. And this brings us to our final story on this episode of AI in our food chain, and it's perhaps the least likely of all, trash.
So I'm Hassan Murad, the CEO of Intuitive Robotics, and we develop AI for zero waste applications.
Tell us a little bit about Intuitive.
So we were part of NextAI's first initial cohort, and our idea was that, we saw the massive problem, the waste problem that the world was facing. And this one fact really shook us, which was that 98% of whatever the world generates ends up in landfills or oceans or is dumped elsewhere. And so this really shook us. And so we decided to tackle this or apply technology, which was our background, to solve this massive problem that the world was facing. So yeah, that's what Intuitive aims at. And, the first product that we're developing is called Oscar, inspired from Oscar the Grouch. So this essentially attaches next to garbage bins and nudges a user on how to recycle. So as a person's walking up, it uses computer vision and AI to see what they have in their hand and immediately nudge them toward where they should sort or how they should sort it out. So while this is happening on the front end, the thing that it does is it extracts the brand as well as the type of object that was being thrown away, which then can create these smart insights for the facilities and waste management companies.
So what Intuitive does is essentially use AI to improve the waste collection system to help you sort and recycle better. It sounds fantastic for the environment. Does it make money?
Yeah. So, one thing that I was quite inspired by when I was starting the company was, I was part of Tesla. And their approach from a very high level, they're making an extremely positive impact on reducing the carbon footprint of vehicles and automobiles while creating an awesome product and delivering that to people. So that's something that we got inspired by. So they're creating this unique business model where they're impacting the world in a very positive way, but creating an awesome business model as well that is sustainable. And while applying AI to really provide convenience to people's lives. So that's similar to how we wanted to take a look at the waste management industry. This was a decades-old, centuries-old industry that was being run from the same old technology, and we wanted to look at it from a new lens. So we applied AI to garbage bins, which essentially hadn't changed since the start. And the key business model that we have is that we extract insights from the waste that is being disposed away while educating users, because the users are the biggest problem here. They throw out waste, they contaminate the garbage bins, which ends up going to landfills or going to third world countries to be further processed or just dumped into their landfills. And so it was key for us to balance a couple of things there, which was educating users how to recycle, constantly updating the rules and regulations of that area or the country, while at the same time having a strong business model like waste audits to a building or providing custodial insights and all sorts of other insights that we can drive from garbage.
So how do you actually change human behavior? Because it's one thing to use computer vision to identify where the waste goes, but how do you actually stop people and encourage them to put it in the right place?
Right. So that's the challenge that we're up against. And what we see is that most people want to do the right thing. And, from countless interviews that we've done, from countless case studies that we've done as well, what we're seeing is that the camera that we place, or our system as it's placed next to a garbage bin, really helps in that cause. That once people see that camera over there, they're already aware that something's going on. And then they try to do the right thing. But the other thing that we've added sort of with the sensor is the screen that shows them exactly how to sort it out. So people want to do the right thing, but it's just they cannot be making a prediction every single second because they have 1,000 things in their mind. And so that's where the AI or the Oscar comes in. While it's making hundreds of predictions while you're sort of walking up, and then provides you with this intuitive nudge so that you get incentivized to do it. So, one aspect of this is you walked up, you threw it in the right bin, and you listened to Oscar, and Oscar gives you a coupon for Starbucks or a free donut from Tim Hortons. If you don't do it correctly, it sort of shouts at you, what did you do? So really making it exciting and gamifying recycling is where we want to go with this.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It's so interesting, and keep us posted on all your success. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Hope you enjoyed trash talking.
I love it.
All right.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
I guess the real question is, do people want their garbage gamified? I am on the side of yes. I think if anything gives them incentive to put their garbage in the right place, it makes sense.
I think we see people doing all sorts of things for a $2 coupon or a cup of coffee. And I think if we can apply that psychology to something as important as recycling and our environment, I'm all for it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I come from Prince Edward Island, and people take real pride in actually putting their recycling in the right place. And you kind of get shamed on the street if you don't. So I know there are places that people also like that feeling and that benefit. Oh, I'm doing the right thing. And I think that is another thing that this company provides to people.
I think this is another great example. We saw the first example in Loofah Farms, where there was a desire to do something that made sense for the environment. And from the ground up, looking at applying AI technologies to doing that in the best possible way, this is another example of that. We have a serious landfill problem, not just here, but all over the world. And to see AI being applied to even take a small step towards addressing that problem, to me, is really the type of benefit we want to see all over the place.